Hello everyone, this is the second devlog of Dayshift with Salmo. I'm not gonna talk it out or drag it, so I'm gonna start right now. When I first started working on the game, the intro object is obviously essential for story progression. Now, however, there was one problem that lied within the object, and that was the code was terrible when I first wrote it. It was incoherent, and that will be confusing to me when I come back to the project, say after a couple months. So I scratched and remade the whole object. Yeah, so remember when I just said I will be confused when I come back to the project after a couple months of not doing anything with it? Yeah, that did just happen. In return, I ended up rewriting some, not all, of the code regarding the game. That includes the intro object and some other objects like the audio controller. The revamp of the audio controller now allows to handle audio in a better method, and before it would handle audio everywhere in the game, which means it will change the audio's volume no matter how much I wanna fade out the music. Now it's only tied to the title screen, so when you make the audio settings changes in the title screen, it will only affect the audio as a whole. Also, there was some slight touch up to first the intro, but it's nothing major since I did it in a live stream. I unreasonably sacrificed lots of time towards finishing the arcade games, but now they're 1000% done. The playable arcade games are as follows. Blaze Shooter 9000 contains 5 levels, contains bosses, and gives you fast tokens with how well you perform, taking account on how much health you have left and the enemies you kill. Bosses also give extra fast tokens. Smack-a-mole, the whack-a-mole counterpart, but instead of whacking, you're slapping them with your hand. This arcade game has went through a revamp as I didn't like the old one, which can be seen in the old trailer, and instead based it off of the real whack-a-mole game. The longer you last, the more fast token you get, and the faster it will get. Can also provide as aim practice, but overall I'm happy with the decision I made. That's right, Matt from the hit game Dayshift at Freddy's is back once more to work here, in the same place where Salmo does.
I can't feel my face.
Matt provides a selection of items set in their own respective categories. You got the key items, which is permanent after purchase. The amount of possible interactions or usefulness determines its price. Consumable, which is self-explanatory, which are the healing items. Descriptions of items will also be shown when highlighting said item. Just felt like stating that. The prize corner has made its place in, and also the fucking ball pit. This means that all the main rooms of the restaurant is here, no longer dreading the black void rooms. Now I have got some news regarding the night shifts and other ideas. Now, as you may know, I planned in another game mode for the player to pick, which was the night shift, allowing them to live life as the night god. However, I'm announcing that I will not be including it in the early versions of the full game and the demo. The reason for the exclusion was not because it conflicted with the fact that the player could go against going day shift. In fact, it sounded funny on its own, but rather it was a decision of scope. When I made the decision, it was earlier on when I started fresh working on the game. I let my imagination run wild and I was like, yep, I want to add that. But later on, I realized within each passing day that I will only make the game take very long. So yeah, I was kind of over-scoping there, and it's not the first time either for this game. I had an idea for making a full-blown working PC that can be used within the security room. I'm gonna go into more details on that in case I want to make it a reality, but it won't be included in the early versions of the full game. Since removing something that sounded cool from my plans for the time being may seem disappointing, I'm gonna compensate for this by having the demo allow 3 days instead of 2 days. That way it feels somewhat better. Ever since I finished the arcade games, I've been making solid progress towards interactions and main game stuff. Interactions with key items and normal interactions and options have been made, but I still have lots more to go through. The game is starting to feel less empty, and I'm enjoying seeing that despite sometimes the progress being slow. Release dates estimation. Now normally I shouldn't be doing an estimation as there's high likely chance I won't even manage a release before that period. In that case, the second estimated release date has also failed, which was supposed to be an April Fool's release, but turned out it wasn't. Will I make another estimation? For the time being, no. Not much was done with the progress of Rich Presence as I'm mainly focusing on the main game content. No steering off to do side activities. Rich Presence will have its own focus once the demo feels playable from start to finish, no major stuff missing, and certainly rats not touching the kitchen. And now, about the roadmap. I said there will be a roadmap, but I completely forgot. In conclusion, things are coming along real well. The game actually feels like a game, and not a placeholder extravaganza. Some features have been made and remade to be less confusing for me. Also, kind of unrelated, but like, I made these new emotion images of my Sona right here because I didn't really like how the old one looked when I made them for my other video. So this one I'm gonna use more often. And that was the second devlog of the game. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.